everybody, I'm Yu-Gi-Oh! Deckmaster, and it's time for another deck special!
Hello everybody, I'm Yu-Gi-Oh! Deckmaster, and it's definitely time for a deck special. I don't know, felt like putting this deck up, so I thought I'd bring it to you. Of course, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. I highly doubt you will, but hey, the option's there. Now the deck I'm running is a deck I plan on making for real. The deck, literally in a whole, is $30. That's it, $30 for the whole deck. I run it a unique way. I try to build this deck the way it was meant to be built. Beat down, doing the shit that it does, and not relying on, random extra crap like X-Seeds and whatnot. So I run no extra deck at all. If you want to, feel free to, build this deck how you want to. Change around the order and variety of things, and, put in some extra deck monsters if you want. I don't want my shit going to the grave. I want to be able to go off with it as much as possible. So that's my personal preference. Hey, it is what it is. The deck I'm talking about is Dinomist. This is a pure version, by the way. No really techie shit in it. Well, at least monster-wise. No techie shit, no extra deck. It's just a cheap beatdown deck that thrives on their own effects. All the cards in this deck will be out as of August 5th. Only 2 cards are not out yet. And you can make it and change it around how you see fit. So if you like, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all on the deck special. Alright y'all, before we start, let me explain how this works. This is a pendulum deck, obviously. And the pendulum scales are 3 and 6. Now they all 3 scales share one effect, all 6 scales share the other. The 3 scale says, if another Dinomist card or cards you control be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead. And it does have a parentheses S, which means if, Regeki or regular Mirror Force, Black Rose, things like that, the scale would get destroyed instead of the monster. And then the 6th scale states, before resolving a card effect that targets another Dinomist card or cards you control, you can negate the effect and then destroy this card. This effect can only be used once while this card is in the pendulum zone. Well, obviously it can only be used once. It's destroyed, and then if you put it back in the pendulum scale, I believe it would erase its effect and allow you to do it again. But let me know if I'm wrong down below. That's the scales. I run 18 monsters. I want to say 9 3 scales, 9 6 scales. So, there you go. Let's get started with the monsters. We run 3 Donimus Pillar. They're all water machine, by the way, and either level 5 or level 4, because of the pendulum scales being 3 or 6. Okay, anyway, they're all water machine, like I said. He is 2,500 attack, 1,800 defense, and he is a scale 3, not level 3, scale 3. He has one of the best effects in this particular deck. His effect states, you can tribute 1 Dinomist monster, then activate one of these effects. This is not a once per turn effect, so if you tribute 2 Dinomist monsters, you can activate both. First effect is, this card can attack your opponent directly this turn. And then the second effect is, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. So if you are able to use both effects, you can attack your opponent for 5,000 to the face. Then we run 3 Dinomist Rush. This card is obviously level 5, 2,400 attack, 2,200 defense, scale 6. He's like your second beater for the most part. His effect states at the end of the damage step, if this card attacked, you can tribute 1 Dinomist monster you control, except itself, then activate one of these effects. Now keep in mind this effect ain't once per turn, so if you have a way, you can activate both. First effect says this card can attack an opponent's monster again in a row, and if it does, it inflicts piercing damage. So if you attack one of their monsters, tribute a monster, attack another one of their monsters, deal piercing, damage step happens, tribute another Dinomist, then you can activate the second effect. Or you can just activate it. Your call. It says, shuffle 1 card on your opponent's hand at random or on their field. into the deck, and then this card gains 100 attack. This is the card that you're mostly going to use as it gets rid of problematic cards. Just shuffle it into the deck or deplete your opponent of resources in their hand. The 100 attack part's whatever, but I mean it can add up. Then we have 2 Donimus Ceratops. He's a level 5, 2100 attack, 400 defense, scale 3. Really all he's used for is tributing for Spinos and Rex or Pendulum Scale. That's really it. Or maybe an extra beater. His effect states if all monsters you control are Dynamis, must be at least one, you can special summon them from your hand. The effect is used from time to time, but like I said, mostly you're going to be tributing or Pendulum Scaling him. Then we run 2 Dinomist Brachion. Level 5, 2000 attack, 800 defense, scale 6. Like Ceratops, he's basically mostly going to just be tributed for Spinos or Rex or used as a Pendulum Scale. He's like your priority to use as a Pendulum Scale along with Ceratops because that's a 3 and a 6 scale. But he can be treated as a beater, and he does have the effect that if you do not control a Dynamist Brachion in your monster zone and your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack, special summon this card from your hand. Both it and Ceratops can also be used for tribute fodder to summon out the level 5 Rex and Spinos. Then we run 2 Dinomist Patrian. Patrian. Sorry. Names are a little confusing on this. He's a level 4. We're getting to level 4s now. We're at level 5s. He's level 4, 1800 attack, 1200 defense, scale 3. And he has the ability that if he destroys a monster, an opponent's monster, by battle, you can add 1 Dynamist card from your deck to your hand, which is a pretty good searcher. Not as fast as summon searchers, but still, it gets you what you need. Then we run 2 Dinomist Peleus? No. Peleus. Yet again, like I said, these names. Anywho, he is level 4, 1700 attack, 1400 defense, scale 6. He has one of the most unique effects. He's pretty powerful. If you want to up him to 3, you can, but he clogged from me. His effect is monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dynamist card you control. There is a spell card that you run in 3 that's treated as Dynamist. Your Pendulum Scales will be treated, and if you have monsters on the field, you could get up to 1,000 attack decrease, but the odds are you'll just lower them enough for Spinos or Rex to run them over. Then we run 2 Dinomist Stegosaurus. It is a level 4, 1600 attack, 1800 defense, scale 3. And its effect states when another Pendulum monster besides itself you control battles an opponent's monster after damage calculation destroy both monsters. Now, I know what you're thinking, this card's not really that great, but it actually is pretty useful if you have a monster you just can't get over in battle. Maybe they're too strong in attack. Summon this thing in defense, attack them, yeah, they're both destroyed, but you can bring your shit back. So keep that in mind. And then I run 2 of the card that made me want to run this deck to begin with. Dinomist Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus is my favorite dinosaur in the whole world, so you know this. And any deck that allows me to play this card, even if it's a machine type, I'm going to play it. He is awesome, don't fuck with him. With that said, this guy's actually pretty good, but does not come out in real life until August 5th when Dark Illusion, I think is the set's name, is released. So if you want to make the deck for real, gotta wait till then. As for him, he is a level 4, 1500 attack, 2000 defense, scale 6, and his effect is banish any monster destroyed by battle with a Dynamist monster you control. And this is really good. It allows you just to take out shit, problematic monsters, and just get rid of them, banish them, get them the fuck out. I run 1 Upstart Goblin, mostly because I want to make this deck for real and I can't afford a Regeki. If you can get a Regeki, replace. But if not, Upstart Goblin is good. You get a draw, and 1,000 life points ain't a big deal. You can beat it out of your opponent pretty easily. I run 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. I'm running this because when I make the deck real, my baby gave me 2 secret rares. They're beautiful. Hello. But you can technically run Galaxy Cyclone or MST. I would not advise Twin Twister as it takes away your resources. I run 1 Limited Removal. Why not? It's machines. Beef up your bastards and beat them down. And just think about it. It's an OTK with Spinos. Blah. But keep in mind one important thing. You can't use your pendulum effects to protect you during the end phase because scale 3, I think it is, states it has to be your opponent's effect. Then I run 3 Tech of the Techs. Aquarium Stage. Now this card is technically used for aqua actresses, but has a beautiful effect for this particular deck. It states, and it's a continuous spell might I add, all water monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle with a non-water monster. Now, all Dynamists are water, and it just so happens 95% of today's decks are not, except the occasional mermail. So this card will make it a lot harder for your opponent to get the shit off your board. We then run 3 Dinomist Charge. Now Dinomist Charge is one of the best cards in the deck. It's a searcher card that adds a Dinomist monster from your deck to your hand, but it has a better effect. Once per turn, if a Dinomist card or cards is added from the field to your extra deck face up, add one of those cards to your hand. You can of course only use this once per turn, and activate one of these cards once per turn. But keep in mind the usefulness of this. You have 2 pendulum skulls. You go to attack, your opponent activates a targeting or destruction effect. Your pendulum skull negates and destroys itself. Then that adds it back to hand. Main phase 2, you play the skull again. Though be warned of one thing, it's not optional. The second one of your monsters go from either the pendulum skull or the monster zone to the face up to the extra deck, it automatically adds the first one to your hand. You cannot pick and choose. I run 2 Dynamic Power Load. Dynamic Power is the field spells for the Dynamist. Sadly, since it does not have Dynamist in the name, it is unsearchable by Patrian. But it states, all Dynamist monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. Nice little beefy boost. And when a Dynamist monster you control attacks or is attacked, you can Armades those motherfuckers. Meaning they can't activate shit till the end of the damage step. How about Spinos to the face for 5,000 and you can't do shit, motherfucker! I then run 2 Dinomist Rush. It's a trap for the Dinomist, and since it has Dinomist in the name, it is searchable. Same with Charge. But I only run 2. This card's really good. You could run 3, but I only run 2 because of clogging issues. It states, special summon 1 Dinomist monster from your deck, and if you do, it's unaffected by all other card effects. But it's destroyed during the end phase you activate this effect. And only 1 Dinomist Rush per turn, can be activated per turn. Now keep in mind, it's part of the effect of the Dinomist Rush. Your skill 3s will not stop the destruction, but hey, it's a way to get the big motherfuckers out from your deck. They're unaffected by everything. You can go for a big hit, and then end phase, hey, it dies. But if you got your skills, you can always bring it back next turn. I then run 2 Ishban. And the room goes quiet, and most wonder, what the fuck is that? Well, let me tell you, it's a continuous trap that nobody's probably ever fucking heard of. But what it basically says is when a monster with an attribute other than water is normal or special summoned, including face down, looking at you, prediction princess, wink wink, and you control a face-up water monster, hey, all Dynamists are, that monster is changed to defense position. Now, I assume that means face-up position the way it's worded. Also, it does say monster, not monsters, so I don't know the ruling on if that would work with pendulum summonings or mass summonings. If someone knows, please let me know in the comment section below. Now, I'm not much into aggressive traps because this deck's really good at just beating the fuck out of people. But I noticed one thing. Pendulums have one weakness. Summon negation. It fucks up everything. I summon this. I negate. Boom. You lose all your resources. I say fuck you to that. And that is why I run 3 Wire Tap. Ha! You want to fuck with me? I'm going to negate your shit. Now, for those who have been living in a rock somewhere, or just came out of their mom's womb, when a trap is activated, negate the activation, and if you do, shuffle that card into the deck. Is the current tax for Wiretap. It is a counter trap, so yes, it can be chained to those nasty solemns. So, I only have one thing to say to you. Come at me, bro. Then for the last card I run 3 Breakthrough Skills. Now, this is to be a budget deck. I'm making this deck on here because I plan on making it in real life. This deck is very competitive. I've gone against a lot of decks with this particular build. But if you wish, take out the Breakthrough Skills for 3 Solemn Strikes if you can afford it. I, however, am not made of money. So, for those who don't know, because Breakthrough Skill hasn't been played in forever, it is a normal trap. And it lets you target one face-up effect monster your opponent controls. Negate the effects of that monster until the end of the turn. Plus, during your turn, except for the turn the card is sent to the grave, You can banish it from your grave and yet again negate another monster's effects until the end of the turn. It gets double use and it works. Well, that's my deck. I do not run an extra deck because I kind of like keeping my shit on the field to tribute for Spinos and Rex. A lot of people will probably down this video because of that, and you know what? You want to, go right ahead. I don't give a fuck. But at least if you're going to not like it, tell me why. Yeah, this deck is not competitive. No matter what fucking cards on Earth I put into this deck, it would not make it competitive. It's not going to magically be able to beat Cosmos. There's no tech in the world for that. It's a fun deck. But, in all honesty, I've beaten more Tier 2 decks and even a few Tier 1 decks than some of the Tier 2 decks can do. So, I would say it's probably close to a low Tier 2 status, if not mid-Tier 2. And that is my opinion. You're welcome to your own. If you like the deck, feel free to make fixes to it and make it your own. And with that said, until next time, peace out, rock on.